And let me explain something to you. Let me explain something to you about a person said, "What is a possession spirit or a possession spirit of reality?" I said it's an energy that protects somebody in the physical reality from being hurt into their habitation, their matter, or anatomy at the time because it is of high um, metaphysics and also mythology of one's higher reality, of one's real a magic that's beyond starlight, and the force of space is like the original force of existence a certain type of way on a level of physics concerning even the highest magi empress of the stars of the planets. Now, let me explain something to you about certain things, right? If a person says, "What is herpes?" I said, herpes is a chemistry that causes a deterioration to the matter and anatomy. But it's just like, see, I'm literally just went to go wash my hands. See, I took my socks off. See, I'm about to go jerk off right now. But another person sitting somewhere because I'm jerking off and making this type of feeling. Look at this. I make this type of feeling that intensify individuals who want to suck a dick. I can't even make your stomach feel like it should get fucked. How about this? Your shoulder feel like you should get fucked. Look how I do this. Look, by myself. Another person's gonna want to keep smacking his dick on your shoulder. Yo, listen. Let me just show you how real this is, my nigga. I could. My cheek feels like it should just literally be rammed, pussy be rammed on my face or rammed on my cheek. Yeah, I can make you feel any point of your reality. It's like muscle. I can make any point of your reality feel like you should have sex at a time. Now, let me show you how real this is. Now, herpes is a chemistry that a form of false chemistry to a person that's not the soulmate that creates the habitation of the wrong humane structure that causes it's just like a person that's tempting or a person that's tempting somebody. I'm not tempting anybody. This is how I naturally feel. I'm supposed to go outside there and just naturally go get pussy, but I'm not gonna go do that because the ignorance of individuals of social economics, of the embarrassment of things they already did with other individuals they weren't supposed to, when they were supposed to prevent from being with other individuals and then keeping to themselves. But because of, it's just like when I'm looking on the internet, I went to go look at girl masturbating, and I see these Chinese niggas just trying to have sex on my line, like they just trying to bogart and get between my pussy at a time, like on some real raping situation. I don't know what it is on my internet. It's on the internet, so Google, you find out. But let me show you how real this is, right? Now, a person wonders about situations. Herpes is a chemistry that causes a false attribute that causes deterioration. So a person that's causing a rape or a false acknowledgement at the time that wants to go have a sexual encounter is probably forcefully trying to get rid of energy of protection because it wants to break through the barrier of a certain feminine or feminine beings. Because I told you a lot of chicks, a certain height requirement is my literal soulmate. So if a man tries to have sex with them because of how they look so voluptuous and some sexual alluring, that a man would literally want to break through the barriers just to be able to have some type of comfort. But because she has a protection on her from my wife, then she's a continuous habitation of me and my wife's love, and the preciseness of my wife, something you to refine and strengthen the astrological tree to the metaphysics, to their magic. And then you have men that's not on that level of magic, and then they're jealous of a situation that is a certain type of way because they won't be able to captivate a situation or to have in their to have in their hold a certain type of way. So other men probably forcefully ahead of time probably went after chicks and tried to cause the wrong humane condition on their habitation of their physical, causing the wrong chemistry and then causing herpes. So because herpes is a form of that deteriorates the anatomy or the matter of an individual's physical, so that person is literally trying to deteriorate the protection of the astrological tree of the magic or the force of the mythology or metaphysics to create some fucking false reality and then it causes a static distortion in a person's reality, and the next thing you know, it causes them conflict and pain, and then you have a person that probably gonna get demonic, and then they're probably gonna want you to get dominatrix sex and all types of things. And once that happens, that's a person that's ruining the chemistry and the habitation of the astrological empress. It's just like when I told you with my wife, oh, pardon me, I closed this television because when I spoke about this, I didn't even want people to know about what I was speaking about a certain type of way. So let me tell you something. It's just like when I spoke about my wife or Ixo. Now, the Empress of Love, my wife or Ixo, if a person demoralizes her high, I'm a soulmate, so if somebody has a doctor to heal her, it has to be me. So if a person demoralizes her high consciousness, like say a person in the family or somebody that marries in the family is so in love with the way she looks or her physical, and that doesn't understand that magic fully, but they're loving the attribute of the sex, her being of love and immaculate feelings, a certain type of ways that certain things is done, and then they don't understand the reason of love, like they don't know why the reason of a cupid, like the real love, and then they try to hold the honor a certain level, but tries to tell her, oh, I don't want you with your husband, and then they cause jealousy. That's like demoralizing her consciousness of the higher mythology, causing her to be stagnated on a level, so her consciousness fades away, and then she's zombified, and then it'll be the end of the physical reality, and the end of the love astrological tree, and then they won't have no habitation of the physical to ever bring her back in the physical reality, and it'll be the end of all love. And once that happens, I'm just gonna leave this planet, because once I don't see her a certain type of way, I'm leaving this planet. I don't just give a fuck about nobody after that, because that means that this cycle of individuals, it'll be self-evident of what type of people that they are throughout time. So of their mentality, and all solar systems will agree at a high point of existence. And if she went with the demoralization, that means she's a spoiled finger jab or point of enlightenment of the Empress that just became sequenced, substable, and became the pimple and the full, that it let the disease be penetrated through the astrological Empress of Love, and show you she never honored the dignity of the habitation of the reason of her existence in the reality. So it's just like me saying, pardon me for a second, it's just like a person that does certain things a certain type of way and then causes a certain reaction. Now, a person, me speaking about certain things, I gotta get rid of foul acknowledgement of even my conscience and my habitation, because I don't think that way when it comes to my wife love, because I'm the real love. The reason, just like I'm the reason of glory, I'm the reason of the real love himself. I'm the real love, the astrological emperor of all love himself, and I just don't show you my features a certain type of way, because one, I'm a real handsome man that you wouldn't even believe a certain type of way. And then when you really get to see me at a time, a certain way, I'm Emperor Chi. And then the reason of my enlightenment, I don't want to show a person the reason of my physical beauty a certain type of way, because you don't worry about what I really am and who I really am a certain type of way, because another person doesn't need to know how handsome I really am when it comes to the physical reality. So I just keep it to myself, because my energy hides it, because a certain type of things, of a certain acknowledgement of probably people already viewing it. So, or the way they're viewing it, and they're being conniving and deceitful, and they're, a certain funny situation. But anyway, like I said, if somebody stagnates at level, it demoralizes the higher because remember, the higher quality is a higher consciousness. So if somebody stagnates it means it's demoralizing, distinguishing, causing deterioration to the levels of the higher consciousness that causes the diminishing of the reason of the soulmate, and there's no reason for the habitation or the condition anymore of the attribute that the individuals are loving until it diminishes and is gone, and then you'll see how physical start deteriorate in a certain type of way, and then there's a lack. But I don't get into certain things a certain type of way because the ignorance of other people. So a person that's creating herpes chemistry is a person, or sicknesses or AIDS or diseases, those were for possession spirits, energy, forces of protection, and magic, because those are people that create, that's so foul in the habitation of their conscience that they create the deterioration of the habitation of protection. And then next thing you know, an individual will be going through physical trauma, and then when the real Empress manifests, I feel even more sorry for her, because all she did was want to protect the family of the earth, of the habitation, and the people. That means the people inside the celestial structure took advantage of her, didn't care. And it's just like a person that's been abused a certain type of way and then lost the reasons of their existence. So, I'm going to end up leaving this planet sooner or later, but, another person, you can't force me to be here because it's causing this situation also. Because it'll cause it more rapidly if you keep me here a longer time and I don't want to be here. And then, you'll cause the distinction of my wife, because at a time I'm feeling like she doesn't deserve a certain level of my love because the way people are acting in the social economics. Just like your homeboy Bill, I'm not saying nothing bad about him, but the mentality of the way individuals consider an individual and should have knew their education at a point of physics to show, to be an example of the reason of the habitation. So, I just look at life like it's just like teaching a person high points of magic or all type of lessons of life, and then they just act like it doesn't matter. Then a person says, if it didn't matter, why did you want to know all that time? So then it's like, a hurtful fist. So a person I just leave it alone. So, like, you deteriorate the reason of your consciousness. So no wonder a person's going to end up miserable a certain type of way, because the acknowledgement they gave, and then they're mad probably because they have the wrong type of influence a certain type of way in the physical that caused their situation. And that's reflecting even in the paradigm of time, because I'm the paradigm of time and also a reflection. So it's going to continue endlessly because I'm not the one to give in, because I'm no educator. So another person is like, their stupidity is making them beyond stupid. And at the time, I'm at a point like I don't want to hear sorry after that. It's just like, fuck you. It's just like, a passing moment, like whatever, and this is the reality. But I was just giving you this information of possession spirits, or spirits of guidance, or energies ever wanted to know, or high elements of a quality of light ever wanted to know what caused their deterioration. It was the individuals that created the wrong chemistry in the habitation of their social economics. It's just like the people in the social economics. Every night, I know there's certain nights that they go outside and they burn chalk, they burn wood, and it stink up the habitation, and the person can't even breathe at a time. So I noticed they've been doing that on purpose. So these are people that just breaking through people magic, and they just want to cause. It's probably like because you have girls that station certain places at the time, and then you have people that's trying to break through their magic or their energies, or you probably have some star beings that want to get a rape on, and that doesn't want other people to know what's going on, or demonic beings that's been hidden underground that's trying to get a rape in the physical reality and can't break through the protection of individuals a certain type of way. So they're causing a false chemistry to diminish the mentality of the individual until they start becoming ignorant and compatible. It's like a person that eats meat and a person that doesn't eat meat. They're not compatible. Then the person that eats, they start indulging in meat, then they're compatible because they became a savage like the other person's emotions that's substitutable to the natural cannibalistic or how can I say this, a carnivore mentality of the reality, of their reality that be on a level with them, and then that have to struggle with their reality of their quality of value. But by then, the person that tried to do that to them is just conditioning them for the recycle of life, that they're going to kill them and try to bring them back at a time. Because a person that does that is going to end up getting into an argument, and they're going to call that person to be a follower. It's going to end up in a physical way of dozering the person. Dozering means trying to manhandle the person and they're not their real parent, and then cause a argument at a certain level, then they're gonna have to provide the evidence who's more dominant until it gets physical, until one of them is gone, you know. So that then next thing you know, there's probably a hidden situation of them becoming cannibalistic, and then next thing you know, then the reconditioning of the physical, and most likely it happens to females a lot concerning certain men and concerning certain feminine beings that is fucked up in their demeanor and their habitation. So be very careful of people that practice democracy and demonic science. This is all I can tell you, but you know, that's what it is. It's just for the individuals and the energies to know about the possession spirits, energy, spirits, and energies and forces and guidances and spiritual guardian guide empresses. So what's deteriorating them is the people that's causing the sickness. And the more that they try to please these people that's causing the sickness, their existence is going to fade out the reality. And then on top of it is like an emotional battle, even when it comes to the receptiveness of the energy, of the anatomy, or the alchemy, or the highlight of the physical reality of their physics, of their realm, their reality, the realm, or the depth, or because of the dimension, but of the depth of the high intricacies of the high mythology of the reason of the higher conscious of the purity of the regard of the energy. So when a person tries to break through, it's demoralizing the energy, so it becomes like an emotional struggle, and then you make a vindictive spirit or a conniving, it causes a spirit or energy or a person in the metaphysical spiritual realm to be conniving, vindictive, or deceitful, and then causes the end of deterioration of that energy, because nobody wants to deal with no habitation of that type of sort when they want to be happy, unless they're being devious a certain type of way. And then on top of it, by then the energy already be spoiled, and then there won't be no real habitation for it if the quality is of real love, and that's the real reality. So you know, it's just a person just ending the existence. The world is literally a person that's probably killing the habitation of the elements in the atmosphere, and space is actually killing gravity itself. In space, is killing the inside of the astrological empress. So the mythology or magical realm will just fade out, period, and there will never be no magic or anything, and it'll be the end of all existence. That's it. You know, so you know, the people that's causing diseases, AIDS, discomfort, rape, dominatrix, sex, pain, good for you. You're a fucking bunch of losers. Is gonna end the world, and I would murder you myself, but I don't want to be like you, because I'm the opposite. Loved one, for those that know what I'm speaking about, loved one, I have nothing else to say.